Good morning, this is the 22nd of 53 consecutive 5-mile walks from the Gresford Memorial to the Miners' Rescue. I'm back again.
A big thank you to big Wrexham fan and ex-Boris Park Albion teammate Scott Morton, who's known as C. Scotty on Twitter, who sent me a 2012 Radio 4 broadcast from a series called Soul Music about a piece of music called Gresford, the Miners' Hymn. The hymn is a British hymn without words that's usually played by brass bands, particularly at the funerals of miners. It's famed for making congregations cry and is a significant and meaningful part of British mining heritage. Roy Dickinson, the son of a miner, describes it as the most incredible piece of music, so poignant for anybody who has a modicum of socialism or trade unionism in their body. He first heard the hymn at the Durham Miners' Gala that takes place on the second weekend of July every summer. The hymn was written in the northeast of England in 1936 to commemorate the Gresford disaster. It was composed by Robert Saint, an ex-Durham miner and self-taught musician and composer who died in 1950 at the age of 45 due to the effects of pit dust. He'd been in the mines since the age of 14. The Gresford tragedy moved Robert Saint so deeply that he was inspired to compose the hymn. To him, the Gresford dead were not strangers. He knew them well. They were his comrades, and he knew of their every toil and sacrifice. The blue marks on Robert Saint's face, caused by coal dust entering open cuts, were the same scars that would have tattooed the Gresford men, the mark of the miners. Andrew Saint, his grandson and himself an accomplished musician and educator, believes the tragedy reached deep into his grandfather's soul, and he's well placed to break down the effectiveness of his composition and how it creates such a sadness. For example, how the first pairs of notes fall from first to second and creates the effect of a sigh. Then the same notes are repeated, but the first note is lengthened to symbolise a weariness, perhaps a weariness associated with the physical and mental toil of the job, the never-ending death toll of mining disasters and grief. And then a change of direction as the notes step down in a 3-note figure, before surprising the listener by going up to the highest note of the hymn, as though to represent the miner's ascension, before descending down to the lowest note of the tune, the ups and downs of a miner, the ups and downs of grief, the ascended souls, and the buried bodies. As one person commented on social media, this beautiful hymn should remind us all that the price of coal will never be repaid. God bless all the miners and their families around the world.
This walk was dedicated to Joseph Humphreys, Thomas Husbands, Ernest Jarvis, William Jenkins and Percy Johns. And today's song is Gresford, the Miners' Hymn by Robert Saint.